Okay, let's get into this stack of material then. We're doing a real deep dive here into what's happening with prime central London property. And really, for you listening, the mission is to figure out why demand seems to be creeping back. I mean, despite all the economic bloom, higher borrowing costs, people are looking at PCL again.
Yeah, it seems completely counterintuitive, doesn't it? But the data really does back it up. And
Yeah.
the core reason, it's the correction that PCL has already been through. We're talking prime central London here, Mayfair, Knightsbridge, that sort of postcode. Average prices there have dropped, wait for it, a massive 20% over the last 10 years.
20%. Wow.
Exactly. And crucially, our sources suggest that drop is largely down to, well, rising transaction costs. Think stamp duty changes over that same decade.
Okay, 20% is huge.
Yeah.
And you can see the immediate effect, right? Buyer interest picking up. The number of offers made in PCL just in the 3 months to August was actually 9% higher than the 5-year
So
average.
it was, yeah.
But hang on. If mortgage rates are so much higher now than, say, 10 years ago, how can we really talk about affordability? It doesn't quite track, does it?
That's a fair point.
No.
It's maybe not affordability in the traditional sense of, your monthly payment. It's more like relative good value, that 20% sticker price reduction. For cash buyers or people using smaller mortgages, it's basically canceled out a lot of the pain from higher rates. So it's created this pocket of affordability within the market itself relative to where things were. Buyers are seeing value compared to a decade back.
Right, value compared to the past. And the contrast with prime outer London POLs, places like Richmond, Fulham, maybe more driven by schools and space, that makes it clear. PCL down 20%, but POL prices only down about 6%. That's a massive difference.
It really is. Although we do need a bit of a reality check here. Offers might be up, yeah, but the headwinds are definitely still blowing. Actual exchanges, so completed sales, in PCL in the 6 months to August, they were still down 9% compared to the 5-year average.
Okay, so offers up, completion still lagging a bit.
Exactly. And that slowdown, well, part of it is likely because PCL gets hit harder by higher taxes, like stamp duty. You raise stamp duty, you inevitably punish the really high value end, the mansions in Mayfair, much more than, say, a family home out in POL.
So if completions are still a bit slow, even with more offers, it suggests buyers are maybe being quite selective, hunting for that value you mentioned. Where is it actually showing up most?
Now that leads us to what I think is the most revealing bit of analysis. The geography of value is shifting dramatically. The extra money, the premium, buyers traditionally paid for those super central locations, it's collapsing.
Collapsing. How much are we talking?
Okay, get this. 10 years ago, if you wanted to buy in Chelsea rather than Fulham, you'd expect to pay about a 47% premium.
Right. Nearly half as much again.
Today, that premium's down to just 21%. It's more than halved. Chelsea prices, according to the median sold price data, they actually fell over the decade while Fulham held up much better. So that gap just narrowed really fast.
Wow. That completely changes the calculation for centrality, doesn't it? Is that happening elsewhere too?
It's pretty much across the board in central areas. Take the gap between somewhere ultra prime like Belgravia and somewhere like Richmond. 10 years ago, Belgravia carried this huge 75% premium over Richmond. Now, it's narrowed all the way down to 29%. So for the wealthy buyer, you're just not paying that same eye-watering premium anymore to be right in the very heart of London.
Okay, but let's bring in the counter arguments. What's stopping prices just snapping back up if the value is there? You mentioned headwinds.
Yeah, we definitely can't ignore the breaks. Stamp duty is one, as we said. But there's also, well, let's say a generally more hostile climate for some wealthy overseas investors compared to a decade ago. And then there's the big one right now. All the intense speculation about property taxes in the upcoming budget. Talk of wealth taxes, mansion taxes. It creates uncertainty.
Right, the policy risk. So putting it all together, we've got this compelling relative value story in PCL, but it's bumping up against some pretty significant policy uncertainty.
That's basically it. In the short term, we'd expect that price gap between PCL and POL to keep narrowing a bit further. The perks of living centrally, the convenience, the buzz, they start looking really attractive again when the price difference shrinks this much. It's bound to draw more buyers back towards the center eventually.
But it all seems to hang on what happens next with policy, doesn't it? I mean, if you're looking at PCL right now, maybe the biggest question isn't just can I find value, but am I comfortable with the potential policy changes coming down the track, to whatever might land in that November budget.
Yeah.
That uncertainty it feels like the single biggest factor clouding the immediate future for PCL. Something to really mull over.